Everyone, welcome to Koil Shira and Rezav Research Institute, Baruch Hashem, Rezav.org. And we're going to be learning today Hilchas Matan, which is in Likutei Halachos, and we're going to be starting with Halacha Beis. Does everyone see it? Yeah? Okay, here we go. We started it last week, but we're just going to give it a head start, and then we'll see how we can get it. Mitzvah Hashem will get it accomplished. So after you daven, right? So then you're supposed to learn a little bit. You don't run away right away. Sit down and learn a little bit, and then you have a little Yegiya Satira, a little back and forth with Charusa, right? Trying to understand the Taisvis, the Ran, the Riv, right? And you're a little back and forth, and the mind gets kind of worked up, right? From the Yegiya of the Torah, right? So then what we have to do is,
Do a little business. After learning, you do a little business.
Do business. That's exactly the point. Go to do business, because that'll calm the mind down. It's a fascinating thing. The business will be calming. Let's see next page. Misyagin, the mind shouldn't shouldn't get overworked, so to say. Right? In lesson 35, that going to work is an aspect of going to sleep. Not sleep, actually sleep, but it means the sleep, it's relaxing the mind. The mind is so involved in the Torah study, so the mind has to be calmed down. So therefore we go out to work, and that'll calm us down. Okay, it gives a relaxation to the mind. When the mind is very challenged, you have to give it a little rest. So it shouldn't be that there's too much light of Torah will come and it'll put out the fire. In other words, if you have an oil lamp burning and you pour too much oil into the lamp, you smother the wick and then the fire goes out. We don't want that. So again, the mind is so overworked in Torah, we need to calm the mind down. So how do we calm it down? We go out to work, and that calms the mind down from its limit from the Torah. Because if you just are constantly thinking, and you're constantly working in the mind, and you're constantly thinking, then the mind, which is the klei seichel, that's the vessel that keeps our knowledge. The seichel, all the seichels in the mind. It can't keep it. In other words, it can't keep accepting more information. It has to, so to say, calm down to process it. If you just keep feeding information, and you don't allow the mind to process the information, it's not going to work out well. The person can almost go crazy. In other words, they say a person, even in a case like this in work, right? Some people, they overwork themselves so much that they burn themselves out. They go crazy. I mean, you see it today; it's unbelievable. So we're learning here now. So when you get involved in your limud Torah, in the mitzvah Hashem, everyone should be able to experience that, how beautiful it is. When you sit with a chavrus and your mamash, you're battling out a Gemara, and you're trying to understand Amar Rabbi, Amar Shlokas, and you're really going through it. And it's such a beautiful thing. And the mind gets so used, so worked. So, v'zeh bechinas kol Torah shein by badlas, right? If you're just going to learn Torah and you're not going to have any rest, you're not going to have any betela, nothing. In the end, it'll be batal. The whole thing won't work out. It won't work. Because we'll come to an aspect of bittul where again the mind needs to relax. The mind has to process, and if you don't allow the mind to go in that manner, the mind can't sustain itself. Because the kalim, the mind is the kli, and it can't take too much asik atayra. This is a fascinating thing. The Rebbe is teaching us over here that learn, and there's a time to learn, but there's also a time you have to do other things also. We can't just sit and learn all the time. What? Say it again.
Refresh, recharge.
You have to recharge, right? Okay. Like he said again, when you have too much R, it'll damage the kli itself. Then the mind goes out from its constriction. And then if the mind goes out of its he studies things and it goes out of the capacity of what the mind can handle and process, he could lose his mind. The way the mind works is like this. You get some new information, and you have to be mitzamtzim it. You have to constrict it. You have to so to say process it. In the mind. If a person doesn't do that, in the end he'll have betela. He'll be batal. In other words, if he just thinks I could just keep studying, and I don't have to do anything else, in the end he's going to burn out. It's not going to work out for him. Because if the mind he loses his mind, and the mind goes and he has a shriras a kalim, because the kli is broke. As I mizen is hava klipas kamuv, and then the klipas come, and as the Eitz Chaim he brings in the Sefer Eitz Chaim from the and vizer v'gaireres oven, and that'll cause chas v'sholem him to do averis, because again, if he doesn't have his mind in order, he won't know what he's doing, and then chas v'sholem will lead him to do the wrong things. Kinira b'chush, as we see and we sense. Because if you just keep overworking the mind and you don't give it any rest, because then he gets all confused. He doesn't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, so then you're obviously going to be doing the wrong thing, and Chas v'Shalom will come to be Averis. So again, it's not like everyone thinks that I have to just sit and learn V'gisa b'yoyim v'loyla, and if I don't, I'm not doing the right thing. No, you have to learn, of course, and you take it. You have a segment of time to learn. You finish learning. You do your business. You do what you have to do in order to relax the mind, so you can have a kiyum of the Torah that you learn, because it gets time to process it and you get to use it. It becomes part and parcel of the person. He's mitzamtzim in the mind, and it becomes part of him. But if he just keeps getting more and more information, it's not going to work. He won't have anything. That's why Chazal taught us about Masa Matan. When you go and you're doing business, make sure you're not Maske Shem Shemayim Lebatola. Don't use Hashem's name in vain. Don't swear it in, right? Now, the Isser of in business transactions and commerce. This aspect over here, using Hashem's name, is again in the aspect of using the mind in the wrong way. Because why would I mention Hashem's name? What am I doing? Why would I do that? When you mention Hashem's name, you're calling Hashem. You're calling out to Hashem when you mention Hashem's name. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the life giver for all life. Therefore, we only mention Hashem's name in Torah and Tefillah. Again, we're learning this idea because, again, when you go out to work, we were learning that you shouldn't have a shutvis with a guy, right? Because if you have a shutvis with a guy, then you'll come to swear in false gods' names, which you're not allowed to do. A partnership with a guy, exactly. But even now, if you're going to do business with Jewish people. And now you're not going to process this idea, this concept that I go and I finish davening, and then I go and have a seder of limud, and after my seder of limud, now I go to work to process. If I don't do that, when I do go to work, I'll obviously do the wrong thing. I won't think properly. I'll try to cheat somebody, chas v'sholem, or I won't make the right calculation, and then I'll come to swear in Hashem's name for what? Shoaz yesh kelim amidas lekabel achayim va'af me'Hashem ba'atzmayu bechinas midas. Even though the shame of Hashem is from the midas of Hashem, we said that we Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives us His names are His midos. It's not Hashem itself; it's His names. The names of Hashem are His midos, the attributes of Hashem. Afal pichein zeh yadua ki yesh kelim lekelim. There are kalim and kalim. There are kalim. There are different vessels and vessels, and tzimtzum, constrictions and constrictions. Masha nechshav lekli bechina elyoina adayim bechina tachtoinu bechinas ar pashut beli kli. In other words, sometimes something above, you can have something above that's greater, and that's that's something greater, but to the thing below it, it's much different. Here, look at the words. What's compared to a kli up on high, it's something very simple because we have no comprehension of it at all. Beli kli. So we have to make our kalim in order to be mekabelit. So what does this mean? You're going to see in a minute now. When we learn Torah, when we daven, we're creating vessels. Tevos are words, right? Tevos are words. So we're creating vessels in order to be mekabel shefa from Hashem. In other words, when we learn, when we daven, we mention, we read words of Torah. Those words of Torah are preparing for us vessels to get the bounty from Hashem for us for that day. Now, so when we do the right thing and we go to daven and we mention Hashem's name, we do the way we're supposed to. We learn our Torah. We're creating vessels and vessels and vessels. But avol kishamaskirim shem shemayim levatola. But if I mention Hashem's name just in vain, without part of a bracha, without part of Torah, without part of tefillah, then instead of having the kalim that I'm supposed to have in order to get the shefa from Hashem, I'm using it. I'm just putting out my any shefa that's going to come. And therefore, if someone just mentions Hashem's name, they just blurt out Hashem's name, is much worse than even the bracha levatala. Why? Because the bracha levatala, at least you're saying Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam. You're putting it with other beautiful words. But if you just mention Hashem's name by itself, that's a terrible thing, because it's not connected to anything. You're not mitzdaref it with anything.
What happens?
Yes.
A person is in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And he just calls out and says Hashem's name for help. Is that considered a tefillah? That would
be a tefillah.
I wouldn't think it's not.
No. He's calling out to Hashem.
Yeah.
Here we're saying he's using the name Lashov. He's using it in a wasteful way. Okay. No. If you call out to Hashem, that's the beauty. That's what Hashem wants us to do. To recognize, hey, it's Hashem. He wants us to call Him. If you use Hashem's name, in the end, there'll be bittul also, because it's just going to lead one thing, Aveira, Gaireres, Aveira, and lead him to bad things. Shagarim bittul anal. Okay, Hainu, Kilkul HaKelim, Balkin Amr Beseinu, Zal. Kol Mokim Shaskar Shem Shemayim, Mitsuya Misa Mitsuya. Anytime you see Hashem is used in a wasteful manner, right? The Misa, death will be found there. Why? Because we said every time you learn Torah, Tefillah is Arichas Yamim, right? Yimarich the Yom, you add to the day. You add to the day by learning Torah because that keeps going. But now if you're just going to say Hashem's name for nothing, that's the opposite of being Arichas Yamim. That's being Mekatzer Yamim. So that's what is the explanation why it's Misa. When we learn Torah, we're using Hashem's name, we're using things, we're making kelim, we're making vessels. Ba'askara Shem Shemayim, next page. That's the opposite of that. And those when you use Hashem's name in vain, then is the opposite of making a kli. You're not making a kli, you're breaking the kli because you're putting out the or. The whole idea of masa matan, and we do it be'amuna, right? We're supposed to do our business transactions be'amuna. Why? Because if I do my business transaction be'amuna, those kelim that I prepared via my tefillah, via my limud Torah, those kelim, I protect those kelim, so that way the shefa coming to me that day has a vessel for it to be accepted into. But if I use Hashem's name in the wrong way, I'm breaking the kelim, and that is nothing for the shefa to come to. Like we use the example, if it's raining outside and you want to collect water, so if you have a good kli, a good bucket, and you leave it in the rain, the bucket will collect rain. But if you make holes in your bucket, so then you won't have any rain. Right? If you make holes on the bottom of the bucket, it can rain all it is, but it's all going to flow out. So that's what we're learning over here. Again, when we learn, and we daven, we're creating kelim, we're creating vessels for Hashem's bounty, the blessing to come into our day for the days that what we need. And Hashem is sending down shefa all the time. But we have the kelim in order to accept the shefa. And so we're learning now how to protect the kelim. How do we protect the kelim? By learning Torah and by davening. We have the kelim, and by doing a business be'amuna and not chas v'shalom using Hashem's name in vain, I protect the kelim. Does it make sense?
And the kelim are?
The kelim are the vessels to collect Hashem's bounty for the day.
And those are the learning and...
The learning are the teva. You create the tevas, the words of the learning are kelim. Okay? But make sure, chas v'shalom, don't use Hashem's name levatola. She pigam bekilkal kelim, and that is a pigam and a damage to the kelim. So once again, we're learning like this. You go, you finish. We're just a recap. So you go in the morning and you come to daven, and you create via your words of tefillah, you're creating these beautiful vessels. And then you go to learn Torah. When you finish learning Torah, you have to finish, because then you could protect the mind, so the mind shouldn't again get overworked. So the mind has the capacity in order to go on and to be and to go in a safe way where the person can be successful. He goes out to work and keeps the understanding that I'm doing my work be'emunah. Why? I'm doing it with Hashem. But I don't mention Hashem's name in vain. I do my work with Hashem, and the kelim that I prepared via my Torah, my tefillah, will be there in order to protect me and give me the ability to collect the shefa from Hashem that He gives to us each and every day. Any questions on that? Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll finish this class. Okay.